Hi, this is Lisa DeMonte from mylegal.com. Today is Tuesday, March 23rd, and we're here at the Georgetown University Law Center for the third day of a three-day conference on law firm evolution, Brave New World or Business as Usual. And I'm delighted to have as my guest this morning Rees Morrison from Rees Morrison and Associates. Rees is a longtime management consultant to law departments and is a blogger extraordinaire. Rees, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it.
My pleasure to be here, Lisa.
Thank you. Rees, you've been attending a lot of the seminars and sessions, as we all have over the last couple of days. Are there any things that you think haven't been touched upon or looked at in some of the discussions that we've attended?
There's a tough question because so much has been covered, Lisa. But as I think back on it, yeah, I think there are a couple of areas that might have been dealt with a little more. One, which is a bit self-serving, is legal departments. I mean, after all, they're the purchasers. They spend $100 billion a year in the U.S.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. They influence where the lawyers go from law school into law firms and so forth. So I would have liked to have seen a little more discussion about legal department structure, how it might be changing in reaction to the economic downturn and so forth. Just one area that I think might have been opened up.
How do you see the law departments changing in the face of these emerging changes within the industry?
Well, one is they're being forced to be much more transparent about their economics, where their spending is, how it's changing over time, to whom they're paying bills. So there's a transparency. There's also just increasing pressure that you can imagine, and that ripples through to law firms.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about perhaps some other things that were touched upon just briefly, but not certainly in detail. What about the effects of Web 2.0 on the legal industry?
Well, there were some references, of course, to Twitter and twittering, but that's really at the short end of the scale. I believe there's quite a lot going on with, for instance, social networks, professional networks for lawyers. There is a culture of some 3,000 law-related blogs in the United States.
Wow.
The Blog 100 honors a lot of the better legal blogs. Those are two forms of Web 2.0, and I think things like wikis, the use of wikis, or listservs even. And what I see in the future is that the legal industry will be changed significantly by the better availability of information and the exchange of it through Web 2.0.
I think as we see these young law students progress and get into the practice of law, I think they're going to have a significant impact on the behavior of young lawyers and how they're interacting with each other and how they're getting information. So how do you see that changing and affecting perhaps law departments and the rest of the industry?
Sure. Well, one of the points that was actually made at the dinner last night had to do with telepresence, which is very grand and expensive right now, but you can imagine video cameras at least, letting people see each other as they talk. I think search technology is going to just improve in so many ways that whatever is out there on the Web 2.0 people can find. And I think thirdly, there'll just be a general recognition that if you go online, you'll be able to find people who know something about what you need, or you'll be able to find resources even better than now. I mean, beyond Google.
Mm-hmm. And with that telepresence, I mean, it simply allows you to basically do what we're doing right now. I almost give you the feeling of being right next to your colleague, and you can have a really good discussion as if you were sitting next to each other.
It's something a little analogous to Skype.
Yes.
I mean, now you can call anywhere in the world for free.
Right.
I think that will change the practice of law a little bit.
Definitely. And I think we'll encourage collaboration, which seems to be one of the themes here at the conference.
Absolutely.
Rees, we have heard from a lot of general counsel during the conference. So, you know, these lawyers obviously went to law school, they practice law, now they've moved into the GC role. How can they get out of the water, so to speak?
Well, that's the $64,000 question, but it is a real problem, I think, that if all they've known is big law, to use the term in there, then how can they think about something as an alternative? One of the ideas is to bring in non-legal business managers, people who can think out of the law firm box. Another is to be something like Jeff Carr, who basically says, I'm stewarding company money, I'd better think differently.
He was quite interesting, his remarks yesterday and the day before as well, and I found it fascinating that I think he said something about offering to his outside law firms the ability to send their summer associates to his company to shadow the assistant general counsel for a day, a week, whatever it was, and not one of his outside counsel accepted the offer. What do you make of that?
I can't, because, and you saw the reaction of one of the managing partners who basically said, tell me the name of the partner who declined. I think it would be so exciting for the summer associates. And it's a very visionary step, which is Jeff's hallmark, really.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think so.
Rees, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate getting your insight, certainly a much different perspective, so it helped us broaden sort of the scope of what we were hearing in the last couple of days.
My pleasure,
Thank you
Lisa.
again.
Thank you.